Loving Father, we just praise you and we thank you so much for this beautiful day you've given us. We thank you, Father, that you are the one who has given us health and given us life and also given us salvation. We want to learn and we want to be students at your feet so you can continue to teach us. And right now we need your wisdom. Please be with us, Lord. Please send your Holy Spirit. And I pray, Father, that we will be able to leave with new knowledge today that we can apply to our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. So we have been going over the 10 principles of health. For those of you who are not familiar with the 10 principles of health, you'll kind of learn it along the way. The acronym is The New Life. Each of those letters stand for one principle. Last time we talked about the first principle, which was trust more and stress less. So we talked about foods that we can manage, meals we can manage, because mealtime and cooking can often become something we're really stressed about. And we don't have to be stressed about it, or if we are stressed about it, there's ways we can manage that stress so it doesn't take over our lives. So this week, we're going to talk about having refreshing rest. Let me move on this side so you can see the board a little better. Having refreshing rest and how that connects to our meal times and our cooking. So mealtime and rest for the body. So we're going to look over what rest is versus sleep, the rhythms and clocks that our body follows and how that affects also our melatonin levels, foods that produce melatonin, and also about fasting and what fasting does for the body. And all of this is really simple, really basic. We're not doctors. We're not prescribing anything. This is all informational. We're just sharing information that we've learned, and we want to make sure you guys have that information too. So what constitutes good health? Do you remember, I think Mom might have put it on the board last week. Do you remember what it was, the formula that she wrote out for good health? Okay. There's two things, two very simple things. It's good blood plus, do you remember the other one? You're going through your notes?
Circulation and good blood equal good health.
There you go, good circulation.
She looked at her phone.
Yeah, she's cheating.
I remember it being up on the board.
My handwriting's everywhere today. Okay, so good health equals good blood plus good circulation. We get good blood from the foods we eat and the things that we drink. That's the nutrients we give to our body. Our blood is built up off of all the food that we put into our body. And then good circulation comes from activity, from making sure that we are getting fresh air. So we're also respiratory circulation. We need all of that together, combined. Exercise, yes. This is why I put those rags over there, so I can access them. Okay. So when it comes to resting our bodies, it comes to mealtime. Mealtime is something we like to do. I think maybe in the evening we like to eat. It's something it's like to relax our bodies, or in the middle of the day after a long day at work or halfway through the day at work. It's that pause. It's nice to just relax and eat your meal. You know, it's actually really important to eat when you're relaxed. If you aren't relaxed when you're eating your meal, that's what causes indigestion. Your body's not ready to digest the food. It's like, you have stress. That means that you need energy elsewhere. You're in fight or flight mode. So if you're stressed, just skip the meal or drink something, drink a juice or something like that. If you can relax and you can just sit down, take a few moments, make sure you're in a calm state before you eat a meal, do that. Because you're going to get more nutrients out of your food. You're not going to have indigestion later, and you're going to be thankful. All right. So rest versus sleep. Did you sleep good last night?
No.
Okay, you did, you did not. You did not sleep good last night.
Sleep through anything. It was thunder and lightning. But I slept good until that came along, and then I went back to sleep after it passed.
There you go. Okay, so you had a disturbance in your sleep. Do you usually sleep well?
If I've had a good busy day,
Okay, yeah.
if I've worked and made myself tired,
Mm-hmm.
I naturally go to sleep.
Yeah, that's me too. What about you? Do you usually sleep pretty good?
I have to take medicine to go to sleep.
Okay, what kind of medicine do you take?
I don't know anything about
Okay.
that. It's a little orange. No, it's not melatonin. It's something that goes with her ADHD.
Okay. Does your ADHD makes it hard for you to sleep at night?
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
and without accident,
Yeah.
she will.
I know people like that.
Unless she's had a super, super busy day.
It just knocks her out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that happens. You have that. Well, even if you've maybe slept last night, do you sometimes sleep through the night and then wake up still feeling tired? Yeah, me too. That was me this morning. I was like, man, I am so tired. I could sleep. I could continue to sleep. I just don't feel rested.
Yeah.
That's the key, is rest. Our body needs more than just sleep. It needs rest. And we want to know how to obtain that rest. How can we get that rest? So our body runs on order and rhythm. Last time we talked about managing our schedules, managing our mealtime, managing how we cook in a way that brings order. So that way we can have a reduction in that stress and we can manage that stress better. Same thing when it comes to rest. If we want rest in our life, we also need order. Our body was designed to the very cellular level to run on order. So today we're going to look at how having a rhythm and order in our life, even at our meal times, can help our bodies feel at rest. So first of all, when we rest, a lot of important things happen. Our bodies undergo restoration and repair. That's the time your body's like, okay, thank you, you paused, you worked hard today, let me go back and fix all those things that happened in your body. I need to go clean up the mess. Our bodies also begin to detox. It gets rid of all those toxins. We've taken a lot of toxins during the day. And our body wants to make sure it can get rid of those things while it has energy to do that. Our immune system is also reinforced. That's why if maybe you have missed a few days of sleep in a row, maybe by the 4th day or 5th day, you start feeling a little sick. Or if there's a cold going around, you get it.
Your immune system goes down.
Yeah. Also, our human growth hormones are produced. So if you are young, it's really important that you get your sleep because you want to grow. My mom used to tell us, hey, if you want to be nice and tall, make sure you go to sleep. And for some of us, it didn't work. Some of us are still short, but for me, it seemed to work. I mean, I like my sleep. So, yeah, I think, yeah, some people overslept. They could have been a little bit shorter. Also, our bones and muscles are strengthened. Fat is also converted to fuel, thus helping us with weight loss. During the night, we aren't eating anything. So imagine you go however many hours without food. So our body has to use the fat. So yeah.
Your first meal is called breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast.
That's it.
Breaking the fast.
Yep.
Except for people like my husband that gets up 3 o'clock in the morning, goes and waits for refrigerator.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, about our body clocks, our biological clocks. Did you know that like I said, to even the level of our cells, our body runs on order. Our body, God designed us to have a little clock in each cell, and the master clock, which is found in the brain, sets all the other clocks in the body. Those clocks have little alarms, and those alarms set off at certain times during the day, telling your hormones to go do their job in your body. One of these clocks are known as a circadian rhythm. It controls the circadian rhythm in your body, which is when you wake up in the morning and you see that light, it sets that clock in your brain. Your body knows, okay, when it's light outside, I need to wake up. Then by the evening, when it starts getting dark, it sets, again, another alarm. Hey, it's time to go to bed. At that time, actually, I might be getting ahead of myself.
Heck on people work nights.
What was that?
Or is it check on people who work nights?
Yes, people who work nights, they mess up their clock. It just goes everywhere because it's your body's saying, "Hey, you need to go to sleep. It's dark outside," but you are awake. And then when it's light outside, your body's saying, "Hey, you need to be awake," and you have to sleep. So they go through a lot. So these different clocks, they regulate when you wake up, when you go to sleep. They even regulate when to eat, when not to eat. They regulate when to release certain hormones and how the heart should respond, etc. There's so many different things that these body clocks control. That's why God is a God of order. He knows.
What's that word then? You said circadian clock?
Yes, circadian or biological clocks. So circadian. Let's make sure I'm writing this right. I think of the, what's that bug out here? Cicadas. Yes. So these are the two words, circadian rhythm and then biological clocks. Biological or circadian clocks, either one. So the circadian rhythm, according to National Library of Medicine, it says the circadian rhythm is the internal 24-hour clock in our brain that regulates alertness and sleepiness cycles by responding to changes in light in our environment. So our circadian rhythm, we just talked about, it is all about when it sees the light, it's going to respond. When it sees the darkness, when we see the darkness, it's going to respond. One thing it does that it's really known for is producing melatonin, telling the body to produce melatonin. When it gets dark at night, it says, okay, now it's time for you to start feeling sleepy. In order for you to feel sleepy, you need melatonin. Melatonin is activated in your body. And for those of us who may not have ADHD or other health issues that make it even harder to sleep, not just the melatonin levels, that melatonin kicks in and we start feeling really sleepy. I know for me, I have amazing melatonin levels.
What in the body produces melatonin? Is it the thyroid or what?
I'm not sure about that one. I have to look it up. Probably the thyroid.
I don't have it, so you can't miss something you ain't got.
So that hormone is then activated, and when that hormone's activated, it says, okay, now you need to go to sleep. So then, as you go to sleep, it's still continuing to produce, and as you're sleeping, it also benefits the body in many different ways. It's a powerful antioxidant. Antioxidants are amazing to keep your vessels and arteries. Thank you. All the arteries clean of also keeping out the free radicals, which can cause cancer. So it keeps your body just fresh and healthy. It's an anti-inflammatory. It supports healthy immune function. So those things we mentioned earlier about what happens when you sleep, melatonin plays a huge role in all those things. It possesses properties to help prevent tumor growth. It supports cardiovascular disease and helps lipid and glucose metabolism. So that's what happens when melatonin is working through your body. But by the next morning when that light hits your eyes, what does your body do? It wakes up. And the reason why it wakes up is because your body clock says, hey, it's light outside, shut off the melatonin. So the melatonin is turned off, our body's awake, we're ready for the day. For some of us, it takes a little bit longer, though. Some people could just jump out of bed. Other people.
I used to be that way. I mean, my feet kept drown and I kept going. Now that I'm older, I wake up and I'm like, okay, it's time to get up.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, when you have to go to school, but she's got a good day tomorrow, so she'll be waking up good in the morning.
I might not even go to sleep tonight. I'm so happy about tomorrow.
They get a splash day, more or less. So.
That will be fun.
For
being good.
Good grades or something at school.
All right, so melatonin levels can be altered and for many different reasons. So some people, they struggle because they don't listen to their body clock. We talked about people who have to work night shift, and so they're intentionally ignoring that body clock because they want to be able to work their hours. But when you do that, you start messing up your ability to produce melatonin. And so it throws your whole rhythm off. Genetics is another thing. If it runs in the family, you're probably going to have issues too. ADHD, people who have a lot of any kind of symptom that gives you that hyperactive. The genetics.
People with
Yeah.
drink, it messes with their melatonin levels too.
What was that?
People go out and drink.
And drink. Yeah. Aging also has a huge. Your melatonin levels are going to switch all throughout life. When you are 6 months old, from firstborn to 6 months old, your melatonin levels are super low. That's why the babies are up most of the night or of weird hours. Those melatonin levels haven't kicked in really. But by ages 1 to 3, you hit your peak. Your highest levels of melatonin in your whole entire life are from ages 1 to 3. Because you need that time to sleep, the time to restore, the time to grow. You know, we just talked about what happens when you sleep. You want, and 1 to 3 is a huge development time for all of us. But then when you hit 15, you have another drop. So how old are you?
12.
You're 12. So you're starting to feel that drop. It's like, oh, and you already had the ADHD. So imagine when you hit 15. So 15 to 20, you have another drop in that melatonin level. So that means that's why teenagers are usually up later. They don't feel as tired at night.
Tries ADHD and he does not sleep and stay awake at normal hours. It's like the opposite of everybody else.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's so many studies done on that, and this is not a one size fits all. So even though we're talking about melatonin levels and ways we can help our body with that, it's not going to be the cure all. We're not seeking to cure anything. We're just talking about this information. But then when you hit 70 to 90, you also have another drop. So after 20, you kind of regulate. I mean, it's depending on your lifestyle. But then at 70 to 90, it's going to drop again. So, but eating foods high in melatonin is a good way to stimulate that hormone in your body and to get it to be able to produce better. So on your notes, there is a list of melatonin-rich foods. And I want you to notice how the first 3 items listed there have afterwards better sprouted. That's whole wheat, brown rice, and lentils. A study was done, and it showed that when the whole wheat or the whole grains or the legumes were sprouted, the levels of melatonin skyrocketed. So they went from, I don't have the numbers with me, I forgot that paper. So they went from being lower to almost tripling or doubling. So just by being sprouted. When you have something that's sprouted, we talked about sprouting last time.
So you're talking about eating whole wheat sprouts, lentil sprouts?
Now, have you ever sprouted or soaked your grains or legumes?
I don't eat legumes. That's one I can't.
Okay.
Lentils, I can't handle.
A lot of people can't handle them because they're not sprouted. When you sprout them, it breaks down a lot of those things that are hard to digest in your stomach.
Well, it's not as far as that. I just don't care for the taste of it.
Oh, okay. Okay. But that's another reason why people don't eat lentils, one of the reasons. But for the rice and the wheat, when you sprout it, it releases the things that are harder, that are keeping the nutrients inside. And now those nutrients are more absorbable into your body. So sprouts in and of themselves, when you sprout them all the way, when they've grown a little tiny plant, every nutrient that's in that is absorbable. When that plant gets bigger, some of the nutrients are going to be harder for your body to absorb. So when they're young is when you want to get it. You don't have to sprout these all the way, just until they get a little tail, and then you can use it. Some people do the sprouted wheat bread, and they sprout their grains, and then they run it through like a meat grinder, and then create a dough out of that. I've never done it personally, but I have tasted it. And they sell it at the Kroger's, I think, in Walmart. They have Ezekiel bread, and that's sprouted grain bread.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're gonna try getting melatonin from any of those things, go for something that's more sprouted. And then you continue down and you see pistachios, black and white mustard, fenugreek, alfalfa. Alfalfa is another one that you can sprout and just eat the sprouts. Celery, coriander, fennel. It goes on and on and on. Almonds, walnuts, strawberries, cherries. This is just part of a list. If you want the bigger list, I have the whole file that if I can share that with you, and it breaks down.
Purslane, she was asking about that earlier. I have wild purslane in all my little pots. I'm trying to grow something else, but purslane pops up.
Yeah, don't get rid of it. Keep it.
That's good.
Can you pick it and just eat it?
Yes.
Or
I think she'll probably have a whole class on purslane.
she was asking about that.
Yes, purslane is amazing. That's one of those herbs and those plants.
It's a superfood.
Yeah. You don't want to get rid of purslane. If you have purslane in your garden, please keep it because that's going to be a blessing to you.
I'll have to transfer it to the pots.
There you go. Yeah, because it will take over. Just give it a whole place in your garden. So you can look over this and you can even see how there's medicinal herbs, St. John's wort, mulberry leaves. We have mulberry leaves out here. They're very high in melatonin, even black pepper.
All the mushrooms and particular kinds.
Yes, and I can get that to you, all those particular kinds. I have it all listed.
Because I sure like those baby portobellos.
Welcome. Okay, so have you ever eaten late at night and then gone to bed?
Yes.
How do you feel the next day? Not too good.
Shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I did that recently and I really felt it.
Depending on what you eat now, I have gotten up eating a handful of pistachios, and it doesn't bother me. If I get up and eat something like ice cream or
Something heavy that requires a lot of digestion. Yeah, it's going to really affect you. This is from an article by Jay Bile, and it's it says the importance of eating patterns in health and disease. It says the circadian system prepares the body to be more efficient at digesting, absorbing, and metabolizing food earlier in the day when you're active, when it's light outside. For instance, insulin sensitivity, which is needed to regulate blood sugar, is greater in the morning. Thus, larger meals are processed better when eaten in the first half of the day. And conversely, since melatonin, which is released at night, reduces insulin release, the body is not able to process glucose properly when you eat late at night or very early in the morning when melatonin is high. So at 3 in the morning or before the sun comes up, you don't want to eat that early either. As long as it's dark outside, don't eat. Because you still have melatonin in your body, which means your body is not producing the insulin, which is needed to regulate the glucose levels in your blood.
My friend doesn't have a lot of those because she has diabetes.
So
And you,
what-
go ahead.
So what happens if you eat and your body like
If you eat late at night
late at night and your body doesn't produce insulin
to regulate the glucose, and then you're going to have high blood sugar levels all night long.
That's why they've come out with these new things for diabetics to see when their glucose is high or low or whatever.
So if you are diabetic, it's really a bad idea to eat at night because you can't regulate your glucose levels. And if you're not diabetic, it's a bad habit to get into because then your body is going to be struggling with those high glucose levels, and that can lead to diabetes or diabetes. So eating during the day is the best because our body is ready to digest the food. Remember, our body wants order. It wants to be ready. If you're following your circadian rhythm, if you're following those biological clocks in your body, it's going to automatically say, okay, I'm ready for the mealtime. If you have like a set mealtime during the day, I'm going to eat at this time in the morning, this time at lunch, your body gets used to that. So then at that time, it starts to prepare. It says right here, it prepares, it wants to be more efficient at digesting, absorbing, and metabolizing food. So it gets ready for that. And then if you keep that cycle, the health in your body, the harmony in your body is going to be so much better. It's just like in music. Music has rhythm, it has timings, it has the melody. And if one of those areas are off, if the rests are even off, the whole song is destroyed because it's not kept in a beautiful harmony.
like I keep telling her, she needs to make a habit of doing things, then you automatically do them without thinking. Your body does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you get in the right habits,
Yes.
then your body works better.
Yeah.
I wake up at about 6:32 every morning because I have it.
So the saying is, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper.
Yeah.
So you want to eat the biggest meal in the morning.
And I just cannot do that. I have tried,
Yeah.
and I just cannot eat a big meal in the morning. I mean, right now, I don't know what I'm going through, but I have to force myself to eat breakfast.
You know, you can even do, like, if you want to try, you can try 2 meals a day. I'm not sure how your stomach is, but you can even push out your first meal to 9, 10. If you can't eat first thing in the morning.
If I don't have a job to go do, I just wait until I get hungry.
Yeah. And then if you eat around that time, and then you wait 5 hours or so, and then have your second meal, and then you'll be done for the day. Then you fast all night, and then you would be, yeah, you would definitely wake up hungry. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people, they've shown the studies have shown that people who eat late at night usually don't eat breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
So sometimes it starts with that.
That's the deal, though.
Yep.
I usually fix dinner around, well, as soon as I pick her up from school and get home, I get started on dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So we eat 6 o'clock at the latest.
That's good. That's good.
So,
There you go. So here are some types of evening meals that you can prepare. A light soup. You can do a light salad. You can do fruit. You can do toast. Something that's easy for your body to digest.
Ugali.
What was that?
Ugali.
Ugali. Is ugali easy for your stomach to digest, Kim? Don't ask Roger. No. Roger, it's easy for you to digest? No.
That's Lowy.
Lawi, is it easy to digest? No. I wish. Sometimes our favorite foods we want to enjoy in the evening whenever we are all relaxed and we're together with friends. But that's the time sometimes we need to say, okay, no, let me give my body a rest. Let me help it feel better.
well, she's usually so hyper that she'll eat 2 meals in the evening. She eats dinner and then she's still hungry, she says. So if we have fruit, I say there's grapes or
There you
apples
go.
or whatever. I said eat something like that.
That's what my mom always told us. If you're still hungry and it's late, you go get the fruit. The fruit will digest quickly in your body.
Ain't no wrong with fruit.
All right. So we are almost done. Last thing we're going to talk about is fasting. That's when we don't have any food in our body or a limited amount. Fasting is a complete rest for the body. In that moment, our body's like, okay, thank you. I have time and energy to spend on restoring the body. You don't understand how much, many of us don't understand how much energy is put into digestion. Just the way you feel after you eat, especially if you eat a big meal, you feel sleepy. All the blood in your brain, on your body is going to that one area to digest the food. So then if we do this to our body 3 times a day, and then we have that last snack in the evening right before we go to bed, we're not giving our body a break. So, pan dulce and cafecito. When we do that, we're not giving our body a break. And we need to make sure we're giving our body a break. It needs a rest, just like we need a rest and we need a break. So we've already talked a little bit about night fasting. And that's where we eat our last meal at least 4 to 5 hours before we go to bed. The reason why 4 to 5 hours is because it takes about that much time to finish digesting your food. So you want to eat, give space. And then when you go to sleep, don't eat anything. You can drink water. You just sleep through the night. The nice thing about night fasting is you're not really thinking about food. You're sleeping. So you don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to feel hungry in the middle of the night? No, you'll be okay. You will survive. And then you will wake up hungry in the morning and ready to eat. Like you mentioned earlier, they call breakfast because it's breaking a fast. Because that was the term. You are sleeping through the night because you're not eating through the night, because you're sleeping.
What about people who don't eat breakfast?
You don't eat breakfast. What do you mean?
Eats breakfast.
My parents don't eat breakfast.
That's
But
okay.
It's not breakfast people.
You start with where you are, wherever you can be.
Me and her, the only ones that eat breakfast in the whole house.
And there are many different reasons. The other type of fasting you can do is a 1 to 2 day fast. Some people say don't eat anything, but the studies have shown that it's better to drink a juice that's high in antioxidants, because when your body's not eating anything, it's using the fat that's stored in your body. And in that fat is also the toxins that your liver couldn't handle all at one time, so it stores them in the fat cells. So as it starts to burn the fat, those toxins are released as well, and your body now has to deal with them. So in order to deal with them in a healthy, safe way, drink the juices that are high in antioxidants. We're going to show you guys how to make one tonight. And that one's made with carrots and celery and green apples.
All 3 of them.
All
No
put together.
cucumbers, huh?
No cucumbers. We just keep it simple. If you can have 3 powerful herbs or 3 powerful plants or 3 powerful fruits or vegetables to use, just stick to 3. If you add too many, you're just going to have a nice mix.
Yeah.
But it does good if you just use 3. All right.
So it's good to fast every once in a while, or when you can fast?
Okay, that's a good question. So it's good to fast. You can fast once a week for a day or 2, depending on how determined you are. Or you can fast once a month, a 1 to 2 day fast once a month. It's ideal to give your body at least 1 day a week when you don't eat any food. And you drink the juice. And the juice, when you drink the juice, you want to drink it 5 times a day. So break it up throughout the day because juice goes through your body faster.
It has to be vegetable.
It's the carrot, the celery, and the green apple. If you can use other vegetables, but your antioxidant-rich foods are going to be, the highest ones are going to be found in your green and your orange fruits and vegetables. So you can mix it up however you want to with your own vegetables, but just remember orange and green are going to be your highest ones. So yeah, you can do once a week or you can do once a month.
What, for like 24 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So could you drink 2 of the juices in the morning and 1 and 3 in the afternoon?
What's the break? Your stomach can only handle 8 ounces at a time. So you want to give 8 ounces, give it a little break, go from there. So I'll try to
Like,
drink.
like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you be doing the juices instead of meals.
Yeah, so you think of how you have where times you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then with the juices, you're gonna have breakfast. Just think of it like a little snack, and then lunch, and then another little snack, and then dinner. But it's all juice in those times right there. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other questions?
Now, when you do this juice, is this done through one of these juicing machines?
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting only the juice, not the pulp and all that? Okay.
Yes, through a
I was
juicing
looking
machine.
at one of those today. I was looking at dehydrators today. I was looking at everything today.
Mm-hmm.
My brain is in overload right now because I started this garden and I've been coming to the last few classes. I gotta do this. I gotta do this.
It's okay. It's okay if you can't do everything all at
No.
once. Just start with little things at a time.
Patient and pace myself.
Mm-hmm. You know, I have a friend who's always listening to anything I share, and you know, I was telling her about juicing. I even brought her a juice one time because my mom had made the juice, and I had her try it. The next time I came to work, she told me, "Hey, I looked up how to make juice using a blender because I don't have a juicer. I want to use my blender." So she told me, "You can just put it in the blender with a little bit of water, and then you can strain it with a cheesecloth." I'm like, "Okay, girl. Well, you do what you know you can do. I've never done it personally."
With a cheese
To get the pulp out.
Forever.
I'm sure it would, but if she's willing,
You put it in the cheesecloth, you can pick it up, let it drip, walk away, do stuff, come back, it's done.
yeah,
You can run it through a strainer, whatever you gotta do with what you got. It's not the best technique,
No.
but if you're doing what you can with what you got.
yeah, that's it. Do what you can with what you have. It's not a cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You can research whatever works best for you, and that's what the beautiful thing about God and health is. You can do what you can with what you have.
The weird thing about her, she doesn't like cooked carrots, but she'll eat raw carrots after you have this.
There you go. That is a good thing. All right. Well, that is it for our class, and I thank you for everybody for coming. And we're gonna have any more questions.
More input foot.
All right. And thank you all for watching, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.